everyone, my name is Chloe and welcome to my Romanceathon vlog style wrap up, reading vlog, whatever you want to call it. Today is the second day of Romanceathon. It is Sunday, June 13th, and I have read my first book. So I read Evidence of the Affair by Taylor Jenkins Reid last night. This is an 86-page little novella that she put out, I think in 2018, and it's told in epistolary format, which means letters back and forth, and it's about a man and a woman whose husband and wife are cheating with each other. I hope that makes sense. So the guy's wife is cheating with the woman's husband. So the woman writes him a letter and says like, hey, I found these letters from your wife between your wife and my husband, and they're having this affair. Do you want to see the letters? Do you want to know? And the two start corresponding and just like being each other's support. And this is 86 pages and they're quick. 86 quick pages, and yet I felt the connection between the two because they are both just trying to figure out like, what the heck do we do in this situation we never thought we would be in? Like, they never suspected this of their significant other, and yet here they are, they're both being cheated on. And so they kind of navigate that together. And of course, the title, it kind of has two things. And I thought it was really cool. Like in the end, there's kind of a twist that like alludes to the title as well. And so I thought it was really fun. I'm a hard sell on novellas or short stories or anything just because I do feel like there's like something missing. And while I felt like the connection was definitely there between the people, I do wish we would have had more. So in this way, it's not necessarily that I feel like something was missing, but that I just really wanted more. So for that reason, it's probably going to be like a 3.5. This also has a trope that I really dislike, but I think it was done for a very purposeful reason. And I can't go into any of that without being spoilery, so I'm not going to say anything. But overall, I thought this was a really, really fun novella. So then I have picked up Sweet Hands, and this one I'm only maybe halfway, not even halfway through, but this is about a baker. This is what I'm substituting in for enemies to lovers and BIPOC authors. So Antonella, if you're watching this, I'm not going to read Blockshot, I don't think, this week. I still want to read that whole series by Kennedy Ryan, but I don't think I'm going to get to it this week because this is one that I have from Libro FM. And this is a enemies to lovers romance about this woman. She is like a cake baker, she's a baker, and this guy is a musician, and he's good friends with her ex, who is also a musician, and they had a bad ending, and so she's really like turned off from musicians in the first place. But then she also has some history with this guy, not necessarily romantic. They've been friends since they were kids, and they've always kind of had some tension, but they both recognize that the other is super attractive. So it's going to be enemies to lovers. It's all setting around a wedding because she's the maid of honor because it's her sister, and he is the best man because it's one of his good friends. And so they're having to come back into contact with each other. And enemies to lovers is not my favorite trope by any means. And this one, I just don't really feel like there's like justification for why they dislike each other so much. And it's also very heavy in language and that kind of stuff. So if you do not like to read like heavy language, it hasn't gotten too steamy yet, but I'm guessing it will. So overall, I'm liking it, not loving it. It's just really just okay for me. So that is what I'm reading. I will check in next time I finish something. Hey everyone, it is Monday, and I am just getting on here to let you guys know that I finished last night. I finished Sweet Hand by N.G. Peltier. So this counts for my BIPOC author, and it's also indie published. I don't remember if that was a prompt. I kind of feel like it was. Maybe those are the two prompts. I don't know. I knew it did two prompts, and you guys, I feel like this one, like I could go on a rant about it, and not because it's an objectively bad book. This is just like, if you were to say, I want to write a book that is totally not for Chloe, this would be that book. So this book, I mean, it had a couple things going for it. So it's about Charisse and Kieran, and Charisse is a baker, and she is the maid of honor in this wedding, her sister's wedding. And then Kieran is the best man. He's friends with the groom, and they like have been childhood adversaries kind of, and now they're adults coming back together, and they like don't like each other. And I don't like enemies to lovers in the first place. That's the other prompt it fits, is enemies to lovers. I don't like enemies to lovers in the first place. but I do feel like it can be done right sometimes. And this one, because they're holding childhood grudges, I'm like, y'all are adults. Like, get over it. I think that's so dumb. And then she, her ex-boyfriend is in the music industry, and Kieran is a music producer. So she's like, I'm not into the music guys. And so, because you can totally make a stereotype like that. And, I don't know, you guys, I just thought, I didn't like it. It's got a lot of language. Like I kind of said, when steamy times come, they are pretty steamy. So, of course, that's not for me either. There is a fourth quarter conflict, like at the very, very, very end of the book. I loathe that. Don't like that at all. And I just, like, never really felt, like, the emotion between them. And I don't know. I just didn't like this book. Like, I did like some of the friends and stuff, and I saw this as the first in a series, but I don't think I'll continue with the series. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it, actually. It's just, there was a lot of things in it that are just very much not for me. So the rest of the book is, like, of course, it turns from enemies to lovers pretty quickly, and then the rest of the book is just kind of their romance. Then there's that fourth quarter conflict, and I don't know. But Heather from HEA Booktube, she is also reading this at the same time, and she's really liking it. So take my review with a grain of salt. I really don't like enemies to lovers, especially if it's a childhood grudge. I don't like the fourth quarter conflict, and I just don't feel like I'm going to remember this book, like, past this week for sure. So I don't know. Not for me. But you guys, I have started Scythe, and so many people have said, like, they're excited to hear my thoughts on it. And I am loving it. Like, this is one of those books where I feel like, potentially, I'm not that far into it. I'm like 15%. So I may come back and be like, joke's on me. But this is one of those books that I feel like I will be jealous of people who get to read it for the first time, especially with dystopians like Hunger Games and stuff. I can't remember how old I was when I read those. But Hunger Games and Divergent and all of that, I just, like, binged those and could not get enough. And I remember, I think Jeremy and I were dating at that time, and I remember, like, telling him all about it because I was, like, on Google looking at stuff, and I mean, I just loved them. And I feel like this maybe could be the same. I don't know. I'm really loving the whole idea and the whole world that it's building. So far so good. Really enjoying it. Thanks to everybody who recommended it. So I'll let you know. I really hope I'm not going to come put my foot in my mouth tomorrow, but we'll see. Hey everyone, it is Wednesday, and you guys, we just pulled into the garage, and it's 106 degrees outside. So it is hot. It is summer, Kansas, yay. So I finished Scythe today during nap time, and I don't know, you guys, this book started so good for me. Like, I was so into hearing about the world and hearing how everything functions, and, like, just thinking about, like, how religion is not a thing because they've conquered death and illness and all that, so they don't really need faith in a higher power. And just hearing, like, all the different intricacies and the way the world works was so interesting to me. So loved that. In the middle, it kind of slowed down, and then by the end, like, as it slowed down, I was, like, kind of just, like, finding myself, like, having to reread because I was just letting my mind wander. And then when the end happened, like, I'm intrigued to know what happens, but I almost have, like, a hard time wrapping my head around, like, how it all worked, because death is not a thing, and yet there's a fair amount of murder, and, like, I understand how it works, but I don't know. And I think that's why this is a dystopian, not a utopian, is because obviously there's still evil, there's still corruption, there's still all of these different things, even in this perfect society. And so I get that message, but I also, the romance in this, you guys, this is for Romanceathon. There is a romance. So basically, I don't know if I even said what this book is about. It's about a world in which death and illness and all that, we have figured out how to eliminate that. So in theory, people will live forever. However, to control population, there are these things called scythes. So scythes are, there's a group of them. I think it said it's somewhere around 300 people. They have a quota of per every time period that they have to glean a certain amount of people. And so that means they have to, like, go kill them. And each scythe has their own way of doing it, both, like, their own way of doing it as far as like what weapon they use or what pill or whatever, however they do it, as well as like how they decide who to glean and who not to. So our two main characters are Rowan and Citra, I can't remember. And they are apprentices. So the Scythe takes them on to be apprentices, and the rest of the story goes from there. So there's I don't know how much to say without giving stuff away. So there's a romance between the two of them, obviously, and I didn't feel the chemistry with that at all. I mean, honestly, I didn't feel it at all. And it's supposed to be like this epic, like Romeo and Juliet type love, and I just didn't feel it at all. Also, one of the characters has a big character change, I guess, or like he or she becomes really hardened, and I didn't feel like we saw enough of that process, like of how he became so hardened. And so I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Like, I haven't written my review. I don't really know. I feel like the end kind of turned into a cluster. The beginning and the concept was so interesting. And the next book is Thunderhead. And Thunderhead is like this artificial intelligence that kind of runs the whole world, except for Scythes. Scythes are not under the Thunderhead. So, I think it may be interesting to read more about that. But I also feel like this maybe would be better as like movies. I don't know, because I don't know if I want to invest that much time in another one, especially because I've heard sketchy things about the subsequent books. But Morgan from Nothing Better Than Books said the second one is her very favorite. So I don't know. I'm going to take a break from that world for now because my brain kind of hurts, and I just like it gave me so much to think about. So I love books like that. Dystopian books that make me think. I love them. So I don't know. I would say probably like 3.5 stars because, like I said, anytime I have to like reread to stay focused, is not that great of a thing for me. But also it was definitely a me thing, I think, more than the book. Although I don't like the romance and I don't like the character change. So I don't know. That is my thoughts on that. I will check in when I finish the next thing. Hey everyone, it is Sunday and Romanceathon is officially over, and I just have not gotten on to update because I feel like this weekend has kind of been a whirlwind. So update on the house saga. There was some contract issues with the house here that we have sold, and so this week was so stressful, you guys, with lawyers and all of that kind of stuff, trying to get things figured out. And it's just been really, really, really stressful. And so my reading tanked because I just can't focus on anything, let alone reading. And, you know, anxiety is high. And so I kind of dropped my TBR and picked up Anxious for Nothing by Max Lucado. So I've read this book. This is my third time, actually. And it's just about like anxiety and how we can kind of focus on God and what he says about anxiety and why we don't need to be anxious because he has got our back. And I love this book. I have it. I bought it on Audible, and it's really short, really quick. Just good reminders of scripture and stories and things, like people who in the Bible have so much reason to be anxious and how they kind of fell on God as their strength. And so that was helpful to me in this week. But this weekend has taken a turn for the better. So then after that, I picked up The Match by Sarah Adams. And I'm not going to say a whole lot about it because it is our Book Sisters Book Club pick for this month. And we have the live show this Saturday on my channel. So if you have time, it's 1 o'clock Central. Come tune in and watch. But I am going to tell you I loved it. So this is about a woman with epilepsy who runs, or she like works for this business that pairs service dogs with people who need them. And then it's about a single dad whose daughter was just diagnosed with epilepsy, and so she needs a service dog. And so they run into each other. Their meet cute is tense, to say the least, because the dad's kind of in denial and like not happy with the price of a service dog and that kind of stuff. And so their meet cute is funny. But then they strike up a friendship, and this Evie is our main character. She definitely has an instant like attachment to Sam, the little girl, because that's exactly what happened to her. She was diagnosed, you know, kind of in that weird tween phase where friends are hard, seizures are hard. And I just thought the rep was so good in this because it talks not only about like having a chronic illness, or having specifically epilepsy in this case, and how scary that is just for yourself, and how like practically you can't drive, you can't do X, Y, and Z, but also like how stigmatizing it is and how hard it would be to be a young person with that, when girls especially are mean, you know, tween girls and stuff. That is a hard time anyway. And then when you are like scarily fragile to other people, what that does for like relationships. And I just thought all of the conversation around chronic illness, like I feel like some of the conversations could be applied more broadly to different chronic illnesses, but specifically epilepsy, I thought that was really good. I thought this is pretty much like, I don't even think it's flayed to black. It's just a pretty clean romance. And so I really enjoyed that part, and I just thought it was adorable. It was so cute. And the only things I didn't love about it, here I said I'm gonna like not talk about it a whole lot, but the only things I didn't like about it is there is a conflict in the end that is like one of my least favorite tropes. But it resolved pretty quickly, so that wasn't a huge deal. And then also I felt like, this is like just a minor thing, but I felt like I had a really, really hard time envisioning either of these characters. Like, I don't know if physical description wasn't in there, or if it was just so minor that I like didn't get a picture, or if it was just my mental state. I don't really know, but I don't think it was in there. I didn't go back to try to find it, but the whole time I like feel like I couldn't see what they look like. And yes, they are on the cover, so you kind of get an idea that way. I just like a little bit of description in the text, and that was not in this book. So otherwise, I would highly, highly recommend it. You still have time to read it if you want to do that. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so check it out. Super good. Really enjoyed it. So that is a wrap on Romanceathon, and I actually completed all of the prompts. So that's great. I didn't get to the group book, but I wasn't 100% on if I was going to or not. So yeah, great week, even though it was really, really stressful. I'm ready for another one. Last night we were like talking to our agent and stuff at like 2 a.m. So it is a Sunday, and we are going to just kind of take it easy. We're going to go take a bike ride right now, and then I don't know what the rest of the day. So thank you for watching. If you participated in Romanceathon, let me know your thoughts. What did you read? What was your favorite thing? Did you read the group book? Did I miss out? Should I put it still on the top of my TBR? Let me know all the things. So we'll talk to you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.